Well, hi there. How's it going today? And where are you right now? I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, wow. I've only ever been to Toronto once. I went to the festival a few years ago and I loved it. I loved it.
It's the
Um,
best.
yeah, yeah. What is that crazy thing you do with French fries and gravy and cheese?
It's called poutine. Yeah, poutine.
It's called Delicious and Dangerous. That's what it should be called.
I'll remember that. We'll have to send you some for sure. Listen, congratulate you on this film. It was absolutely beautiful. I loved it so much. And I got to ask you, I mean, you co-wrote it, you co-directed it, you co-star in it. Is there anything you can't do?
I think I made the sandwiches on one of the days too, for sure.
Not surprised, not surprised.
Well, it's independent film. You have to supplement your wages somehow. And like, no, it just very naturally became that way. I mean, I've acted for a long time, and then I've written for quite a bit now, and produced our films, and it became a sort of natural progression, really. And sort of doing a performance bit. I've always loved actors. I've always loved creating for actors, and so this film being a very much a performance piece, a piece for actors and for audiences, it kind of made sense, really. But I guess if I'd thought about it too much, maybe I would have really been scared and never done it. But
well, no, it's good that you jumped in head first, I tell you. And from what I understand, it was based on a play, right? On a part that was written for you, that Joe was written for you. I mean, how did that all come about? That's amazing.
Yeah, yes, it was written by a brilliant playwright called Kate O'Reilly, who we go way back. I met her when I was 15 at the Youth Theatre, Manchester Youth Theatre, and she was sort of leading one of the courses, and we kept in touch, and we found different ways to work together early on in my career. She was always a big champion of my acting.
Yeah.
And then she wrote this part. I don't know where she got the idea for this disinhibited man-child in Joe, but she wrote this part for me, and it was a play I did a long time ago now, and it came at a unique point in my life because it was the last real play I did. Because the night before the first rehearsals, we found out I was going to be a father, and my daughter was going to be. So my life changed due to this play all those years ago. And then the play was a great critical success, and I had a great experience playing the role. And then, few children later, a few films later, Kate approached me and said, how about, adapting the play for screen? How do you feel about that? I thought there was so much in it. There's so much in the characters. I'm a huge fan of Oliver Sacks's writing and his books.
Yes.
I think actually I should play Oliver Sacks in a biopic at some point. I think that's.
I think so. I think that you would. Well, now, yeah, definitely. There's no question that you would be able to jump in on that one. But I got to ask you, because this is a topic that's not really dealt with that much out there. So to make a film about it, I think it's brilliant, because I think there's going to be a lot of people who, can tag into these people. And, traumatic brain injury, it's a big thing. People don't really think about that. Like, how not only does it affect the person who has it, but oh my goodness, as you see in this film, how it affects the loved ones, because they really also have to deal with this. And oh my goodness, like, I honestly don't know how you guys got through some of these scenes, to be honest. Seriously.
Well, very, very talented actors, hugely talented actors, very courageous actors. And I think there's something, the lens of it is really kind of what's key here is that it's about the characters who don't have the traumatic brain injury. It's like Rebel Wilson and Charlotte Gainsborough's characters who don't have it, but they are the collateral damage. They are the ones that can't be fixed neurologically, because they're the ones that have to deal with this new, where do they put that love? Where does that love go? How do they move forward? How do they survive? And I think that's why audiences are really relating to the film, and it's affecting on quite a primal level, because you can feel it if you've ever been in love and forgotten. You can feel it if you've been estranged from a partnership that prematurely. You can feel it if you've been affected by dementia in your family. And you're so right in what you say, is that I mean, Oliver Sacks called it the silent epidemic. It's amazing how many people have gone through this sort of thing, but it's the thing that's not shared or talked about, or there's no spotlight on it, because it affects so many, actually, you know.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, you mentioned Rebel, and I was going to ask you obviously about her because, you know, look, we're used to her in her comedic roles, and you know, and I always say this, like, funny people make great dramatic actors. Like, they really do. You know, what was it about Rebel? First of all, like, you know, just working with her side by side and just watching her take on this role and what she gave us in this, because wow, she was really good.
oh, that's so great. I agree with you. I think she's really good in it. She was very courageous taking it. She was very nervous about the emotion not being there, because
Yeah.
Rebel knows how to be funny at the drop of a hat. You know, she can walk in. That's her stock
But then,
trade.
yeah.
But going into this and actually being sandwiched between two world cinema heavyweights in Trina Dearholm and Charlotte Gainsbourg,
Yes.
you know, talk about, you know, it's a bit like saying I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna go for the heavyweight champion of the world straight off the bat. And but I think it's not so much about comedians. I think it's something about clowns. You know,
Oh, interesting.
the idea of, you know, I studied clowning, and then that two sides of the coin of the dramatic and the clown, that is well aware that there's a vulnerability inside of them, but yet on the out surface they keep a brave face, like Buster Keaton, like Jim Carrey in Truman Show and Man in the Moon, like Robin Williams. And interestingly, we've kind of got Robin Williams to thank, because in Robin Williams's last movie that Rebel did with him, he suggested that she should become a dramatic actress, because he could see in her that she has those sort of qualities. So I think there's something, I don't think every comedian can be a dramatic actor, just like not every dramatic actor can do comedy, but there's some about there's a difference between somebody who's been, you know, the archetype of clown, you know, in the kind of Shakespearean Jacobean sense, that somebody smiling while the world is crumbling around them, I think makes the transition so sort of interesting. But for me, I was super excited about somebody doing something so new for the first time. And, you know, that excites me as an actor, and excites me as an audience member, and excites me as a storyteller.
Amazing. No, honestly, everybody just really, really pulled it together for this. Like, you know, there was a line that Rebel says, her character says, you know, how do you mourn somebody who isn't dead? You know, and I keep thinking about that line, because as you just said, as we were discussing, you know, it could relate to everything, dementia, whatever. If somebody's dealing with something, they're like, how do you do that? You know, how do you go ahead and continue living and try to be supportive? It's very difficult for people.
I think human beings and love is robust. However vulnerable we feel, it finds a way. Humanity will find a way, and love will find a way. And we have to have that hope, and we have to have that survival instinct. And that's why the film ends hopeful. It ends, you know, however hard the journey is, we know there's a seam of hope and survival throughout it, because that's all we can do. All we can do is put our shoes on and take one step in front of the other and keep going forward. But to say it out loud, I'm glad you like that line, you know, because it's exactly that. At that moment, you just think, you know, where does the love go? Where do I? Because Joe may forget everything, but the one thing he does know, even when he doesn't remember her, is that he loves her.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's so amazing. Listen, you did such a great job on this movie. I truly, truly loved it. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for the film. And when you come back to Toronto, give me a call. We'll go for some poutine. Okay.
I will hold you to that. I will definitely hold you to that. That sounds great to me.
You know, they'll hook us up. Don't worry. It's a promise.
I'd love that. Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Great conversation. Great questions. Great conversation. I really appreciate it. Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you. Take care.